You did not arrive here by accident. Something in you recognized before your conscious mind could form the words for it, that this moment was carrying something you needed to receive. The fact that you are here, reading these words right now, is not random. It is the result of something that has been moving towards you for longer than you know, a truth that has been waiting for the right moment to reach you, and a preparation that has been happening in the invisible realm on your behalf, even through the seasons when heaven felt most silent. Stay with this all the way through. What is about to be spoken over your life was not assembled casually or generically. It was prepared with the specific knowledge of what you have been carrying, what you have been fighting without fully understanding the nature of the fight, and what your spirit has been quietly sensing even when your mind did not have language to explain the sensation. Welcome to the Breath of Angels. This is a home for souls who understand that what happens in the invisible realm is just as real as what happens in the visible one, who know that the battles they are navigating are not only natural in their origin, and who are ready to receive the truth about what heaven has actually been doing on their behalf in the dimensions they could not see. Whether this is your first time here or you have been walking with this community for a while, what follows was prepared for this specific season of your journey and for the specific things you have been carrying through it. I want to begin by naming something that you may have felt for a long time without being able to fully articulate it. There is a particular kind of confusion that comes when you are doing everything right, when your intentions are genuine, when you are showing up faithfully and loving people honestly and working hard toward what you are believing for. And yet something keeps resisting your advancement in ways that do not make logical sense. Doors that should open do not. Progress that should be building on itself keeps stalling at a certain point. Connections that should be strengthening seem to carry an undertow that drains you even when nothing overtly wrong is happening. You have wondered if the problem was with you, whether you were missing something, doing something wrong, somehow disqualifying yourself from what you were believing for. The problem was not with you. The resistance you have been experiencing has had a source, and that source has been operating in the spaces you trusted most. This is one of the most difficult truths that heaven ever has to bring to a human soul, because it involves the people and relationships that we extend our deepest trust and our most genuine love to. But Archangel Michael was sent today precisely because the truth that sets you free is always more valuable than the comfort of not knowing, even when the truth is painful. There are people in your close environment who have not been genuinely for you, not in the way their outward behavior has suggested, not with the purity of intention that their words have implied. The care they have shown has been mixed with something else, something that watched your progress with something other than celebration. Something that wished for your stability in public while quietly hoping for your struggle in private. You have sensed this without knowing how to name it. You have felt it in the way certain conversations left you inexplicably drained, in the way certain people seemed to arrive on the scene right when things were going well, only to introduce exactly the kind of confusion or complication that interrupted the momentum. In the way your spiritual clarity seemed to diminish in the presence of specific relationships even when nothing obviously harmful was being said. That sensitivity has not been paranoia. It has been discernment. And today heaven is validating every quiet warning that your spirit has been sounding that you have not known how to trust. Archangel Michael was sent with a specific word about what has been operating against your advancement in the relational dimensions of your life, and with the authority to dismantle it. The access that was granted to people who are not genuinely aligned with your well-being is being revoked. The spiritual influence that was draining your energy, clouding your discernment, and creating resistance in your path is being cut. And the clarity that has been obscured by the presence of these dynamics is being restored. Not gradually, decisively, by forces that operate at a level far above anything that has been working against you. This is not a message designed to make you suspicious of everyone around you or to send you looking for enemies in every relationship. The discernment that is being sharpened in you is not paranoia. It is the specific ability to distinguish between what is genuinely for you and what is not, between the people who celebrate your light and the people who are uncomfortable with it, between the connections that feed your spirit and the ones that quietly drain it. That discernment is one of the most valuable gifts heaven can give a soul navigating the kind of season you have been in, because it is the tool that prevents the same dynamics from repeating themselves in the next chapter. I want to speak about the specific way that spiritual opposition operates through relational dynamics, because understanding the mechanism is part of what breaks the power of it over you. The people who have been working against your advancement have not necessarily been doing so with full conscious awareness of what they were participating in. Some of them are operating out of wounds in themselves that have never been healed, wounds that manifest as envy or the need to diminish others in order to feel secure, wounds that cause them to act as obstacles to the very people they claim to love. Others have been more deliberate, more strategic, more aware of what they were doing, and more invested in its outcome. But in either case, the result for you has been the same. A resistance in your path that felt inexplicable, a recurring pattern of being pulled back right at the threshold of breakthrough. That pattern is being broken today. The repetition of that cycle is ending. The access that was being used to create interference in your advancement is being closed. And what has been held back from you by that interference is now moving forward. There is something waiting for you that goes beyond what this message alone can carry. A deeper encounter with the specific peace, protection, and clarity that your spirit has been reaching for in this season. You will find it in the link pinned in the comments below. Do not scroll past it. Every soul who arrived at this message today was guided there with purpose. And what is waiting in that link was placed there specifically for this moment in your journey. Right now in the comments, this declaration over your life: I am covered by heaven. Every hidden force working against my peace, my purpose, and my advancement has been exposed and dismantled by divine authority. Let those words go past the surface and into the deep places. Let them be a genuine statement of faith in what has already been accomplished in the invisible realm on your behalf. Because you are not speaking into emptiness. You are agreeing with the reality that has already been established. And your agreement is the activation of what has been prepared. I want to speak now about the freedom that comes when the truth of what has been operating against you is finally seen clearly. Because there is a specific kind of liberation that only becomes available when the source of your confusion is identified and removed. When you understand why certain patterns kept repeating, why specific areas of your life kept meeting the same resistance, why your progress kept stalling at the same point, you are no longer fighting a shadow. You are able to address what was actually happening. And addressing what was actually happening is the final step before the breakthrough that the resistance was designed to prevent. The confusion that has been a persistent feature of this season is lifting. The fog that made it difficult to see your own path clearly is clearing. And what you are going to find on the other side of this clarity is not just the absence of confusion, but the presence of a vision for your life that is more aligned, more specific, and more true to who you actually are than anything you had access to while the interference was active. Because the interference was not just blocking your advancement, it was distorting your perception of what was possible for you. It was feeding you a diminished version of your own potential in a language that sounded like your own inner voice, so that you would accept limitation as reality. Those limitations were never yours, they were installed, and now they are being uninstalled. The people who participated in this opposition did not do so because you were weak. They targeted you because they recognized something in you that they could not replicate in themselves. Your capacity for genuine love and genuine faithfulness. Your ability to keep hope alive through seasons that would have extinguished it in someone less spiritually rooted. Your light, which is not something you perform but something you carry inherently. Something that is simply part of who you are, made you a target for those who operate from a place of spiritual poverty. They could not generate what you carry, so they tried to diminish it or drain it or redirect it for their own benefit. But here is what they did not understand. What God places in a person is not diminishable by human opposition. It can be obscured for a season. It can be suppressed under the weight of relational toxicity and spiritual interference. But it cannot be destroyed. And every attempt to suppress it, every season of opposition that you pushed through, every time you kept choosing faithfulness in an environment that was not rewarding faithfulness, added something to you that cannot be taken away. It built in you a quality of character, a depth of spiritual resilience, a tested and proven faith that is worth far more than a life that was never challenged. You are not a person who was nearly broken and survived. You are a person who was tested at the level of your actual capacity and came through it with something irreplaceable on the other side. If this message is landing in a real place in you right now, I want to invite you to click the thanks button below. That simple act of support keeps this mission moving and sends these words to other souls who are in the middle of the same battle you have been fighting, who need to know tonight that what they are sensing is real, that heaven sees it, and that the dismantling has already begun. Your support reaches people you will never meet with truth they desperately need. It carries further than you can calculate from where you are standing right now. I want to speak about what you need to do with the clarity that is coming. Because receiving truth about what has been operating against you is not the same as receiving permission to carry bitterness, or to pursue confrontation, or to spend the next season focused on the wrong that was done. The truth is being given to you so that you can make decisions from a place of full information rather than from the partial picture that was being maintained to keep you confused and compliant with dynamics that were not serving you. It is being given to you for your freedom, not for your fight. This means that as the clarity comes, your response to it matters enormously. You can receive what is being revealed and use it to make wiser decisions about who has access to your life, your energy, your trust, and your environment. You can use it to establish the kind of clear, healthy boundaries that you have not always known how to maintain because the interference that was operating made it difficult to trust your own perceptions. You can use it to walk away from what is not aligned with who you actually are and what you are actually called to, without guilt and without the need for confrontation, simply by choosing to redirect your energy toward what is genuinely for you. Forgiveness, when it comes, is for you. It is the release of the weight of what was done so that you are not carrying it forward into the season that is opening. It is not the restoration of access to people who demonstrated through their actions that they cannot be trusted with what you carry. You can forgive and still close the door. You can wish someone well and still walk away. These are not contradictions. They are the mature and discerning response of someone who has learned from what they experienced and is choosing to steward their own spirit wisely going forward. Write this in the comments as a declaration of both freedom and wisdom. I release what was not genuinely for me. I forgive without restoring access. I walk forward into what has been prepared for me without carrying what was meant to hold me back. Say that with your whole intention behind it. Let it be the line drawn between the chapter that is closing and the one that is opening. I want to speak about what is coming on the other side of this clearing, because what heaven removes, it also replaces. The space that is being created by the departure of what was not aligned is not empty space. It is space being prepared for what is. And what is coming is calibrated to the real you, the version that has been waiting behind all the confusion and the interference, and the distorted self-perception that came from operating too long in an environment that was not genuinely safe. The connections that are coming into your life in this season are the kind that see you accurately, not the performance version, not the diminished version that you learned to present in environments where your full self was not welcome, but the actual you, the depth of you, the full weight of your intelligence and your gifts and your passion and your vision. The people who are being positioned in your direction are not threatened by your light. They are drawn to it, and being in their presence will not drain you. It will refuel you, because genuine connection between aligned souls is one of the most powerful sources of spiritual energy available to human beings. The opportunities that are coming are aligned with your actual calling rather than with the compromised version of your path that the interference was trying to channel you toward. They will feel different from the opportunities you have pursued before, not because they are smaller, but because they fit. Because they match who you actually are, rather than who you have been pressured to be. There will be a recognition quality to them, a sense of arriving somewhere that was always meant for you, rather than the sense of forcing your way through a door that was never designed for you. The financial dimensions of your life are also being addressed. The practical provision that has felt limited or blocked is connected to the broader spiritual alignment that is being restored. When the interference that was operating against your advancement is removed, the blockages it was creating in multiple areas of your life are removed with it. You will begin to see movement in areas that have felt stuck. Solutions to problems that seem to have no solution. Opportunities for provision that arrive through unexpected channels. This is not magic. This is the natural result of spiritual alignment restoring what was being systematically disrupted. If this message has been a companion to you through something real tonight, I want to invite you one more time to click the thanks button below. Keep this mission alive and let these words reach the soul who is navigating this exact same battle somewhere right now. Who needs to know that heaven sees what is happening in their environment and that it is being addressed? Your support is the bridge. Write this as your final declaration in the comments. At every step, the angels of heaven establish the ground beneath my feet, and I walk into this new season with clarity, with authority, and without the weight of what was never mine to carry. Let that be the posture you carry out of this moment. Not the anger that the truth might initially generate. Not the grief of what was done to you. Not the confusion that was the constant feature of the season that is ending. The grounded, clear-eyed, forward-facing authority of someone who finally sees the full picture and has made the decision to step into what has been prepared. Because something is genuinely shifting right now. The mechanisms of interference that have been slowing your advancement are being dismantled. The spiritual weight that has been pressing against your peace is being lifted. The confusion that has obscured your sense of your own identity and your own calling is clearing. And what you will find on the other side of this clearing is not just the absence of the problem. It is the presence of what the problem was designed to prevent you from reaching. You are not behind, you have not missed the window. The years that felt like they were being wasted while you were navigating all of this were not wasted. They were building something in you that cannot be built any other way. The wisdom you carry about the nature of spiritual opposition. The discernment that has been sharpened by being in an environment where discernment was necessary for survival. The compassion for others who are navigating similar dynamics, which will become one of the most significant aspects of how you serve others in the next chapter. None of that was available to you before you went through what you went through. All of it is available to you now. You are more equipped than you have ever been, more clear than you have ever been, more aligned than you have ever been. And the season that is opening is going to require exactly the person that this season has made you into. If you are not yet part of this community, this is your invitation. Subscribe to the Breath of Angels, not out of obligation, but because something in you recognized today that this is the kind of honest, deep, spiritually grounded truth that your soul has been hungry for. The kind that reaches the real places rather than the comfortable surface. There are more messages coming, more moments exactly like this one. More truth delivered with the precision and the care that comes from heavens. Specific and personal knowledge of what you are actually walking through. And in the comments below, share what moved in you today. What landed deepest, what shifted in you as you listened. What you are choosing to believe and to walk in as you step away from this moment and back into the reality of your daily life. Your words become a lifeline for the next soul who arrives here still. In the middle of the confusion that you are now moving out of. Your willingness to be honest about what you have been through and what you are choosing in spite of it is itself a form of ministry. a form of evidence, a form of testimony that reaches places that theology alone cannot. You were never the problem. You were always the light in a situation that was designed to make you forget that. And now that the fog is clearing and the interference is being dismantled, that light is going to be visible in ways that it could not be when it was being suppressed. Rise into it. Walk into it without apology and without the hesitation of someone who still half believes the diminished version of themselves they were fed for too long. You are covered. You are cleared. You are moving forward into what was always intended for your life. I am Archangel Michael, and I have been standing guard over every promise spoken over your life through every season that tried to make you forget those promises existed. I will be standing guard over everything that comes next. The chapter you are entering is unlike anything that came before it, and it begins right here, right now, in this moment of clarity. Amen.